Welcome to Rawdogging Reality, which is going to be my YouTube channel chronicling 365 days of my life in which I raw dog reality. What the fuck does raw dogging reality mean? It means being with what is, being intimate with life without taking anything, to control and sedate deeply repressed, uncomfortable feelings from childhood. It means being with unpleasant news, negativity, difficult relationships, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your wife, your children, without sedating and controlling how you feel. Being intimate with what is. And how that is actually way more pleasurable, way more high vibrational, way more buzzing personal frequency of sexy than taking a drink every time you feel something, going in the other room to watch some porn and rub one out real quick, talking to some Instagram hoe behind your wife's back, watching an obsessive amount of Netflix, looking at Facebook way too much, or taking drugs, weed, prescription drugs. You know the deal. You know what sedating and controlling your feelings is like, because it has a feeling of I'm sedating and controlling my feelings because I can't handle life. I'm not talking to people who have fun drinking on the weekends, God bless, or having a drink now and then in the flow of their life, or occasionally enjoying a little microdose of mushrooms, see what's happening on Instagram. I'm talking about people who are actively in compulsion, which is enslaving them and the society, and it feels bad. I'm going to call people who are enslaved pickles, and people who can take it or leave it cucumbers. This channel is for the pickles of the world who are looking for a way out, who want to be intimate with life again. Little Buddhas in the house, little Buddhas in their family, because they know how to go through emotions intimately without suppressing them, without controlling them. And this is actually a radical thing. I think this is a radical kind of rebellion because it's been so normalized to control your feelings with screens and blah, 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 blah. You know all the bad things. I don't want to make anything wrong. They're all great. Alcohol's medicine, technology's medicine, ayahuasca's medicine, sticking your dick in whoever you want is medicine, getting on the apps and trying to find someone to stick your dick into is medicine, porn is medicine. I'm just challenging us to maybe not do the medicines and see what it's like to be with what is without taking anything. Because that's what I've been trying to do for 10 years, and I'm getting better and better at it. And I want to spend these next 365 days chronicling my experience of not drinking or doing drugs, not using porn, not sexually acting out, to the best of my ability, not overeating, although I'm human, I might do it sometimes, not over caffeinating, to the best of my ability. I have a little half calf in the morning, maybe a tea in the afternoon, and just seeing what it's like to go through life without taking anything for my uncomfortable, highly charged feelings. And trust me, I have trauma and uncomfortable, highly charged feelings. So if I can do it as a crazy former sex addict, you can do it. So this is encouragement, my experience of the last 10 years, and me chronicling how I feel over these next 365 days. And I just want to talk about everything related to spirituality instead of spirits, instead of addiction. I want to talk about all things related to being intimate with life without resistance, being a medicine Buddha unto the world. And I just want to talk about not numbing, which is a radical thing to talk about in a society that worships numbing. This is how I show up as a revolutionary. So if you're interested in this, subscribe to my channel. You can also work with me. I'm now a coach, men's coach of addicts and compulsive people. But I want to talk a little bit more about why I think it's radical. In other societies, let's say more religious times in history, where lots of things were forbidden, the taboo thing to do, like Kali worshippers, would go to, this is Kali, they would go to graveyards, and they would have sex at midnight, and they would eat forbidden meat, and they would maybe do drugs or drink, and they would use pleasure to transcend all of this stuffy taboo stuff. And we all know how to do that. I mean, I do. You know, we know how to use a substance to transcend the limitations of the mind. But do we know how to do the other thing, which is to have actual boundaries with ourselves? Do we know how to be really gangster with having loving boundaries and saying no to ourselves? No, we do not. I know a few people who are capable of that, but most people are kind of like, I'll have a drink. Let's smoke some weed. And I don't think it cultivates a very warrior spirit. And as the world goes through several crises, one after another, we need to be leaders of non-addictive, non-sedating patterning. If we want people to be less addicted to oil at the top, we might have to be less addicted to our substance of choice. If we want people to be less reactive at the top, we might have to and we must learn to be more responsive and less reactive. Which means we can't just take something every time we feel a certain charge. And I don't know why I'm doing this with my hands, but it feels awesome. But I don't want to just lecture you. I want to talk about my experience. I used to be a totally insane sex addict. Maybe some people know about that who know me. But I'm now in a very loving relationship with a good woman. Sometimes when we have sex, I don't even come, just to challenge my addiction to orgasm, which might be triggering for some people to hear, that you could be addicted to orgasm. I don't care if I trigger you. I'm basically the biggest addict in this world. I've been addicted to Oreos. I've been addicted to hoes. I've been addicted to TV. Actually, I like TV. I'm still a little addicted to TV. Let's leave that one alone for now. Caffeine, Adderall. So if I can transcend some of these strong attachments and find the little child warrior Buddha, satiated, fulfilled, allowing, content warrior, mixed metaphor, within, he's a child warrior, then I think anyone can do it. And I've spent 10 years experimenting with paradigms, going to different 12-step programs. Sometimes they worked for me, sometimes they didn't. Sometimes I had to find a middle ground. And I want to talk about all of that over 365 days. I'm going to post a video a day, no matter what. I want to hear what you want to hear from me. If you want to comment, let's do this. So raw dogging reality means living life without a buffer, being intimate with what is. When you have sex without a condom, it feels good. When you live life without controlling and sedating, it actually feels good. It feels good to know how to feel your emotions without taking something. It feels better than buffer living. And so I want to introduce a paradigm shift where being with what is without taking anything feels better than taking things all the time. That's what we're doing. We're going to introduce and call in a paradigm shift. And so it is. It's more gangster to go through life raw dogging reality than taking a little something every time you feel fear, anger, and grief. So when you raw dog someone, it feels better, it's more intimate, and I want to be intimate with my life. I want to be intimate with my feelings. I want to be intimate in my relationships, and it's fucking triggering. So that's why People have intimacy thresholds. And I want to break down my intimacy thresholds a little bit at a time and learn to trust life. And when you raw dog someone, it's a little bit dangerous. It feels dangerous, and it probably is. In this case, I don't mind the dangers of life. I want to be with a little bit of a dangerous life, a dangerous feeling. Lots of grief all of a sudden. Lots of fear all of a sudden. Lots of anger all of a sudden. I want to be able to be with those things. Bad news. Oh no. I'm a warrior. I can handle and transmute and be a leader. Someone in my life suffering. I can do something about it that's positive rather than just run away and have my little beer at night because I'm scared of life. So it's intimate, it's dangerous, and requires a warrior mindset. Ultimately, it's way safer, but it feels dangerous. I don't think that metaphor actually works with the safe sex, because safe sex is definitely less dangerous, but we'll just say that maybe it's ultimately less dangerous to have unprotected sex with someone you love than be fucking a lot of people. Sounds good. So we're going to raw dog reality. We're going to be intimate. We're going to find the pleasure of spirituality, and that it's more pleasurable not to take things than to take things, or to do those things that we know are kind of haunting us. The still small voice within knows maybe that pornography that we're using obsessively is maybe holding us back from being fully intimate in our relationships and with ourselves. Or maybe it's preventing us from writing that novel or making that album, or just, I still jerk off, by the way. I'm just talking about porn is kind of intense, cartoony, fake. Maybe it makes us expect the people we have sex with to be that way. Porn, alcohol, weed, whatever. You know what it is. You know that thing that you're doing a little bit too much of. I hope to trigger the shit out of you. And I hope you learn that it's okay to be a warrior who could live without it. And sometimes you need help from Sangha. You need the Buddha within. You need the Sangha, which means spiritual community. And you need the Dharma, which I hope to give you a daily dose of. So subscribe to my channel. Encourage me a little bit. Let's get it. Let's have a paradigm shift. I'm giving no fucks here. Stop recording. Thank you for day one.